new job title of community specialist, hiring Ronnie, hiring Delirian.
Shop. I get all kinds of cool stuff. And I got a lady yesterday called my office and she said, hey, do you have anything, do you have any goodie bags for kids? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And
we do.
We do. And so
that's awesome.
That's easy stuff.
Yeah.
And that gets me away from my desk.
That's fun.
Anytime
Those
I get an
are the
opportunity.
fun things for me. I'm like,
Right.
yes. And can I come meet them
That's
and
right.
hang out?
Right,
Like,
right.
yes,
Let's
absolutely.
make this happen. Anytime I
Yes.
get away from my desk is awesome. You know what I mean? Because that's really where the engagement starts. The engagement starts outside of my office, not in my office. It starts in the neighborhoods. It starts with families and children. And I think that's a great opportunity to talk to people about what the sheriff's office does. I mean, you asked that question, what do you hear a lot of? I hear a lot of thank yous. I hear a lot of people saying, hey, I sleep easy at night knowing that the sheriff's office is involved taking care of business while I'm asleep at night. And so I'm thankful for that. Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's cool too. Like I heard something this morning from a friend of mine. It said, if you want to reach people that have never been reached, then you have to do things that have never been done. And like that really hit home for me just in my entire life. Like, okay, wait a second. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but what can you do to fill those gaps? Grease it up a little bit, get in there, maybe do the dirty work. Cause sometimes it can be a little, scary and with the unknown and going out and meeting the community. You don't know if somebody's going to lash out or embrace you. And so of course, like I'm over here crying because they embrace you. And I love that because the community overall, the high percentage is that we want to see our beautiful community thrive.
And that was exactly Sheriff Simmons' mission, is to get in there like we've never been before, to engage with the community like they've never seen from the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. And we're loving it. I mean, it is just awesome. The things that we're planning, that we have done, that we're planning on doing, that we're going to do. It's going to be really exciting.
And
so please follow us on social media. Stick around, see the big things that we have going on. I do want to apologize. We're normally Facebook Live on here. This morning we were having some technical difficulties. We're up now. So if you're watching us on the Sheriff's Office Facebook Live, we're here with Ronnie Rivera. He's our community specialist. He's explaining, what his job is, since it's just kind of a new position that we've had here at the Sheriff's Office, being a liaison between the community, law enforcement, and other outlets that may need to be brought into a situation. So he's kind of explaining that job, what it means to the community, and how we're moving forward with it, and some new exciting things that are going on at the Sheriff's Office. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them down there in the comment section. We'll answer them the best we can.
Right.
If we can't, we'll send it to somebody that can. You can always email me at pio@escambiaso.com. Again, I'll get that question sent to the right person and hopefully get you a response soon. They can also call and text in,
Yes,
correct?
please do. People do. They say good morning. They say hello. And we see you. Good morning to all of you. 437-1620. If you don't feel comfortable calling, you can totally text any of your questions, or if this is something you've been waiting for, or even just want to give a shout out, we appreciate it. 437-1620. I do want to ask, when it comes to being a neighborhood specialist, and are you seeing a climb in the numbers when it comes to neighborhood watches, and how many do we have at this point in Escambia County?
Great question.
That is a great question. I would tell you that I think that we have at least 20 that are active, give or take, and don't quote me on that, but I will tell you, since I've been at the agency, which has been about 60 days, I think we've grown 3 programs.
That's excellent.
And just in just a short amount of time.
Being active, meaning they meet, they're engaging, they're
Yes.
actually putting out content.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And they meet very regularly. I would tell you that I think that, COVID has kept some groups from meeting in the past, but now that there are more and more, now that COVID restrictions are becoming less and less, you're seeing more and more meetings going forward. The meeting I was at last night was not a neighborhood watch group, but it was, like I said, it was a revitalization group of a neighborhood. That's the first time they had met in a year.
Wow.
They had not even done Zoom meetings. So they had put out, last night was their first kind of mix and mingle, and they had about 25 people there, which was nice for.
That's really good.
Yeah. In fact, the Warrington Revitalization Group is actually the oldest standing CRA in Escambia County. And so they've been around since 1995. And so, COVID has kept some groups from meeting. And so now that we're going forward, I bet you we'll see more and more, for sure.
I hope so. I actually just read an article this morning in North Escambia saying that today marks the first COVID case that we had here in Escambia County a year ago.
Oh, wow.
And we're seeing these numbers rapidly drop, and we're starting to see programs come back. We're talking about bringing a lot of stuff back at the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, which is great. I know a lot of our stuff, we moved virtual.
Sure.
So I'm sure seeing a lot of these meetings come back and people actually join in is just, it's great. It's a good thing to see. I'm so happy.
It is a good thing to see. Anytime you have an opportunity to engage in dialogue about making your community a better place, you're probably headed towards the right direction.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then it's probably time to do so, I think. I mean, that's just how I feel. Because we're in this together. And in order to make sure that we have a great community, we need to make sure that we're all stakeholders in this community. So, yeah, absolutely.
We just got a comment from Jennifer. Thank you for watching, Jennifer. Good morning. We appreciate all the well wishes. And again, if you have a comment, please feel free to leave it down in the box below, and we'll try to answer.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. So what is a stigma or a stereotype that people put on neighborhood watches that isn't true, and what sets like Escambia County's training to start a neighborhood watch apart from others?
So it's a twofold question. One is, what is the stigma of neighborhood watch groups? Is that so? Not from our agency, but you hear sometimes that they only complain about stuff, and that's not true. That is not what at all. But sometimes I hear people say, well, I don't want to go to a neighborhood watch group because that's all they do about is complain about stuff.
You know what I always think about?
Yeah.
I always think about Barney Fife, like citizens arrest. Like that was always like before I started the sheriff's office, that was kind of the visual I always had in my head. Yeah. And it's absolutely not true. It is
arrest.
like
it's the furthest from the truth,
completely.
Yeah. These are engaged citizens that want to make sure that their neighborhoods are headed towards the right direction, especially when it comes to the public safety issues. No, I do not. But you hear that. You know, I don't want to go to this meeting because that's all they do is complain, and that's not true at all.
I've been to a few. I've had the honor of being able to all over the county, and it's definitely not that. It's kind of like, okay, what is the schedule for this upcoming month? How are we going to engage this neighbor sent in this question? And I feel like with technology, the sky's the limit when it comes to looking out. Everybody has like Ring. Or some kind of doorbell or app.
Yes, we do, though, always want to tell people, we know everybody's got social media pages for neighborhoods. We see these quite a bit. My neighborhood has one. They're a great thing, a useful resource for you and your neighbors. However, if there is a crime committed, please don't just report it there. Please make that following step and report it to your local law enforcement. So no matter how minor you think it may be, if it's something that you feel the need to bring up, please report it. Right. You can always report that to either 911, of course, for an emergency, but non-emergencies for the Escambia County Sheriff's Office is going to be 850-436-9620. That's our non-emergency line. So again, if you're putting it out there on Facebook that a crime or something suspicious, you got a gut feeling about something, a car drives by, it doesn't look right, please feel free to call us at that non-emergency line, 436-9620, and we'll look into it, definitely.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Amber, but I do think that internally in these neighborhood watch groups, you hear a lot, well, should I report this? I don't know if it's a crime or not. I've heard that a lot. And I tell people, if you're suspicious to something, let the professionals investigate that.
Absolutely.
Let the men in green come out and the women come out and do an investigation and let them take care of it. And just report it. If you think it's something, let us be determined of that.
Don't try to go rogue.
Do not. I mean, there's just no reason to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So my other question was, what sets Escambia County apart from other types of neighborhood watch trainings?
Man, that's a tough question.
Yes.
Or are you upping the ante?
I'm gonna defer to Amber for a second, and then I'm gonna come back because I don't want to interrupt her.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So right now, just even adding Ronnie and Delirian Wiggins, our other community specialist, is somewhere where we're upping our game already. Having community specialists in our department. These two men are going out. They're being very active with them. We're coming up with new plans. They're being liaisons between. I don't know if there's any other neighborhood watches in our area or any other kind of community specialist offered at any other law enforcement agencies in our area. Maybe there is, but this is something that we are doing at the Escambia County Sheriff's Office that does, I feel like it sets us apart. Just having them engaged, having somebody that you can directly call. Yeah. I know you're passing your business card out like crazy when you're there. So it's just somebody that you know that you have met face to face. You've had that interaction with. You can call them. You can say, hey, there's a loose dog in my neighborhood. I don't know what to do. And he can say, I gotcha. I know exactly who to call. I can hook you up with that. Or, hey, there's some speeding in our neighborhood. And we're not exactly sure. Well, you know what? He knows the lieutenant that's working our traffic unit personally. So he can give him a call and say, hey, Lieutenant, this is what we've got. And they can maybe get a speed trailer out there or get somebody out there to watch or handle it the way law enforcement needs to handle that particular situation. So it gives people that personal outlet to be able to have these concerns and bring them to, or even inviting us to their neighborhood barbecues. We get that quite a bit, and we wouldn't know. And it's such an awesome chance for us to come out then and engage with their neighborhood barbecue or their neighborhood yard sale or whatever they're doing that they might want the Escambia County Sheriff's Office a part of, to come out and be a part of their community. And we love doing stuff like that. We also get stuff like birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
Drive-bys for birthdays. So they know that they can call Ronnie or Delirian Wiggins and say, hey, my kid's got a birthday coming up. Can the Escambia County Sheriff's Office drive by and maybe honk their horns and we'll do a little parade for them.
I love
it. But
it
really gives you a personal touch and that person, a concierge. I like
Very
that
good.
better.
I like that too. But I'll tell you, just to follow up real quickly, I think, previously, a lot of law enforcement agencies across the country have done sort of a shotgun approach, if you will, and I think this is more strategic in nature.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think this really kind of drills down. In my first 5 days in my office, I contacted the county, whether it be Safe Neighborhoods, CRAs, Parks and Recs, Animal Control. Of course, code enforcement is always a hot topic out of my office. And I contacted all of those agencies and said, hey, literally, there's a new sheriff in town. He asked me to give you guys a call. Look forward to working with you guys in any way we can work together for the betterment of the citizens of Escambia County. So it's a more strategic look at how we view these communities, I think, for the first time.
Yeah, and breaking them down into I don't think they've ever been kind of broken down into an area that we can look out on a map and say this is the exact community of Avondale or, Softly or wherever it is. And so we know exactly kind of what their community looks like, how many parks they may have in their community, if they've got sidewalks working, do they have
lights?
Street lights?
Street
What are
lights.
things we can come out and look at and say, hey, maybe your community might need to get more streetlights. Maybe that's something you guys need to look at, whether it's your neighborhood watch or HOA, however it works in your community. And we can bring those assessments to you to make you have a safer community or just a list of things that maybe you can do.
Absolutely.
Streetlights are just fundamental.
They're huge.
They are just, they are sort of the apex of everything, in my personal opinion, between all of the agencies. I just think that
1,000%.
Yes. Yeah, because it, you can talk about crime safety and that kind of stuff, but it's also quality of life. I mean, because we know that when others are investing into street lights, then it's just better for everybody there.
Yeah.
We know those things. So.
We love seeing the light shine in the darkness. That's for sure. And
absolutely.
So we have about a minute left.
Okay.
How can people get a hold of you, whether they want you to come out and do a neighborhood assessment or however they can just interact with you? How can they get in contact with you?
You can call my phone at work, which I don't have the number. I'm sure you guys have the phone number up and that kind of stuff, the email. Just contact me. And I'm easy to get a hold of, and I'm very responsive at this point.
436-9630. Ask for Ronnie Rivera, and they can contact you right there. If you have any more direct questions, please feel free. Email us at pio@escambiaso.com, and I'll make sure he gets the question and forwarded on. Again, I'm seeing some other things here. We don't quite have time to dive into some of that, but if you do have a complaint, you can always visit our website at escambiaso.com, fill out a complaint report there, or you can give me an email for more information, and I can forward it to the right person.
Good job.
Excellent. All right. So they make it really easy for our community to reach out. Again, that number is 436-9620. In case you just want to reach out and see, hey, I want you to come in and check out our neighborhood and see how it's going. Ronnie, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks
Amber,
Yes.
always a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Yes, good seeing you.
And thank you, everybody, for hanging out on Facebook as well. We appreciate you guys. We love our Escambia County Sheriff's Office. So let's take a quick pause and check in with Cooper Davis in the newsroom.
Man overboard, Jenna. Crews apparently searching for a guy who said he thought his boat was sinking out in Escambia Bay. Might have needed to grab his bucket